Welcome to the B2T show. This is your host, Rick. We are talking about the CIA on ice. The CIA is being called out by QAnon for illegal domestic spying. They're only supposed to be doing foreign surveillance, and they're doing domestic surveillance. They're being called out. So again, this is a March 9th B2T show. We got people coming on already. And we're going to be talking again on the CIA on ice. Trump just tweeted treason with a question mark. So we've got Q posting right now dropping, I guess. And then simultaneously we have Trump tweeting all tonight. So it's kind of exciting. And we got Montana Nomad from Montana and Jackie from Idaho. And we got Vincent from Oklahoma and Laura from Tacoma, Washington. And Tracy from Bama, Kay from Indiana, Carolyn from Illinois. Thank you guys for all being on. And we got Knoxville, Tennessee in the house. We got Arizona in the house, Napa, California, all over the place. Texas, Utah, Oregon, Phoenix, Plano, Texas. All right, let's get going. North Carolina, New York, Iowa. All right, we are talking about tons of drops by Q. Simultaneously, Trump's tweeting treason, question mark, and Q's calling the CIA out for domestic illegal spying. Let's get into it right now. Woo! It's going to be a hot one today where we are talking about a lot of fun stuff. Here I am looking at, I want to go back all the way to 2980 for a second, because this one is kind of exciting to me. I'm going to pull this over here for a second, just 1 second as I move my windows around a little bit. And when you look at let me get to I didn't have one thing set up that I want to have set up. There it is. When you look at this last thing, Death Blossom, this is kind of exciting. It says Trump threatens to declassify devastating docs about Democrats. And it's talking about read carefully knowing what you now know. This is an old November article about Trump threatening to declassify everything. Predictable moves and counter moves. Death Blossom. So the Death Blossom is referring to, I think it's a Star Wars movie or something like that, where at the end you basically just shoot everything and hoping that you'll be able to eliminate the enemies because you have no more options, right? You're about ready to be killed. There's actually a show on it that's right here, and I said the last Starfighter movie clip, Death Blossom. So I play this. You'll see. Here it is. It just starts shooting everything. Boom, 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 boom. Right before that, you'll see that they don't have any more choice. It shoots everywhere. It's just trying to shoot everywhere, right? And that's kind of what Q's saying is that, man, the deep state, the CIA that's on ice is shooting everything they can, right? Because they know they're about ready to get taken out. And that is quite exciting. So we did not go over the Q drops yesterday because we had Mark Taylor live. So make sure you don't miss that. Go back to that show. So I think we ended up last time. Here we're on March 6th. We reviewed most of those. And then we went to, sorry for moving around here so fast to get back to where we were. We did all these expand your thinking type things on March 6th. So let me get up to the latest. March 6th, trying to get ahead of something. What a coincidence. This is where Zuckerberg was trying to get ahead of the news. And I think this is where we were, March 7th. The CIA's secret data center under the creepy Denver airport was the last one we did. And we started on this one yesterday, which was basically say something you should explore further. Impressive, most impressive. Talk about an Anon's theory on NSA Vault 7 hacking tools, Angel Fire, and Keystone used to spy on the deep state. And he thinks he's found what the Keystone is. So you have to actually go to since they didn't bring it over, unfortunately, on qmap.pub, I had to go find it on 8chan. So here it is. It says, checking out right now. Pretty sure I found something. Rip me apart if I'm wrong, though. So many shills on here. You're missing crumbs. Look here, not here. Responding to post 2996. Q says, how is that possible for a supposed non-government entity? So he's talking about 2996 here. So if I go back a couple, you'll see it right here. Keck, Q. Mark Zuckerberg gets called out and immediately panics. Really nothing to see here. And he basically goes through and right down here he says, there is no way to turn off privacy. There's no privacy. There's no way to turn off, even though app deletion, their ability to extract info. How is that possible for a supposed non-government entity? So it's insinuating that the CIA is controlling the Twitters and the Facebooks of the world, right? And then he's basically digging more into that. How is it possible that Facebook tracks data even when the app is deleted? In post 2993 37109, Q is calling out at Snowden. So I used to filter to find posts related to WikiLeaks. Q post from July 31st, 2018 is a screenshot of the WikiLeaks Vault 7 released March 7th. Sounds confusing, just trying to show you my thought process. Stay with me, it makes sense. Unlike bullets, bombs, or missiles, most CIA malware is designed to live for days or even years after it has reached its target. CIA malware does not explode on impact. Rather, permanently infest its target. In order to infect target's device, copies of the malware must be placed on the target devices, giving physical possession of the malware to the target. To exfiltrate data back to the CIA or to await further instructions, the malware must communicate with the CIA command and control C2 systems placed on internet connection servers, but such servers are typically not approved to hold classified information. So CIA command and control systems are also made unclassified from Vault 7. This is that Vault 7 that WikiLeaks broke about how the CIA is spying on us worse than the NSA ever did, by far. And they redid all the budget, and now they're using, because they can't do direct surveillance, they're using Twitter, Facebook, Amazon, Google, the links that direct you to user forms on how to not leave a digital footprint that can be associated with the CIA, and how to construct an immigration fingerprint using Facebook as their fingerprint. They are able to install malware on people's phones, tablets, and computers, which relay all data back to a single server using Hive. That's another thing that was talked about in the Vault 7. I suggest all aliens who have given up life to research this shit, like me, should read this document to completion. The whole thing about Hive and WikiLeaks about Vault 7. I noticed an enormous amount of comparisons between packets of data and bombs. Don't know why they just autistic. I looked back in the map and found March 5th, 2019, and Anon posted how London police called them bombs, not suspicious packages. Q responds in 2974 with fire. I went onto Vault 7 project, searched for fire. Angel Fire is an important comprised of 5 components: Solar Time, Wolf Creek, Keystone, previously Magic Wand, Band MFS, and the Windows Transitionary File System. He goes, effing Keystone, Keck. Keystone is part of the Wolf Creek implant that's responsible for starting malicious users' applications. Loaded implants never touch the file system, so there is very little forensic evidence that the process was ever ran. This makes post Q381 much easier to understand. We won't telegraph our moves to the enemy. We will, however, light a fire to flush them out. Q is saying that they are using the Angel Fire to predict the deep state's moves without being detected. In the user files, it says a key must be used to open Magic Wand, Keystone. In Q post 270, he says that ADM, R, NSA, W&W, plus POTUS slash USMIL, US military, equals apply the Keystone. Paint the picture. In post 167, Q says POTUS opened the door of all doors. Expand your thinking. What is the Keystone? Now, this could be confirmation bias, but based off of what we just read, we now can infer that Q was saying Trump gave Admiral Rogers permission to use Keystone and activate malware in order to collect data on the deep state. Furthermore, who uses a magic wand? A wizard. Wizard and warlocks. So anyway, this Anon basically thinks he has figured out what the key code is. And that's the first drop of the day from yesterday that we didn't get to because of the Mark Taylor interview that we did last night. 2997 is the CIA's secret data center under the creepy Denver airport. We already saw that. So this is the one we just did 2998. So 2999 is the next one. It has a Twitter here or tweet here that he's linked to from Blumenthal. And it says, glimpse of something much bigger to come. And what is he talking about? He's talking about Blumenthal, obviously a deep state operative, and lied about his service in Vietnam. Why is the Department of Homeland Security reportedly building secret dossiers on journalists and immigration lawyers? Apparent profiling mirrors the behavior of autocrats. I will be demanding answers. So they've been doing dossiers with fake information on Trump, and now we're going to find out a little bit later on Sessions as well, and probably on Ted Cruz, and other candidates. But why is the Department of Homeland Security reportedly building secret dossiers on journalists? Well, it's because now we are actually going to take down a bunch of journalists for criminal activity. Glimpses of something much bigger to come? Actions have consequences. Remember, it goes both ways. There's dossiers being done, but we're doing ones that actually have true evidence, and we're going after a crime that has evidence. Nobody is safe. Leak was plugged, Q. So whoever told Blumenthal that there was dossiers being put out on journalists and immigration lawyers, then that leak was plugged. But nobody is safe because these dossiers go both ways. Some doing FISA for correct purposes, treason, and others doing it to just spy on and try to find a crime, right? So it's the police state tactics that he's talking about here is actually the deep state and the Democrats. That's who had put the police state on Trump, and the police state on Cruz, and the police state on Sessions. That is exactly what's going on here. This is summarized as DOHS tracking activists, journalists, and social media influencers tied to migrant caravans. So that's why the immigration lawyers are in there, because the migrant caravans, etc. They're going to bust them. Those people that are basically trying to overrun our country with immigration. Now, so 3,000. We're on 3,000 Q drops. The number 3,000 is another tweet drop. It says calendar the up to date. Patriot, check off and log. Future proves past. And this is another Patriot actually doing a good list of things that have happened. It says it's happening. QAnon. Where we go all. Trust the plan. Enjoy the show. Bye. BYE. Crooked Hillary. The Great Awakening. And if you look at this, it says U.S. Attorney John Huber, who serves as Vice Chair of Attorney General's Advisory Committee, met with new AG William Barr this week in Washington, D.C. And we can see a picture of him actually shaking hands with Barr. Barr and Huber, the ones that are going to be taking these criminals down. Exciting. That was March 7th. Now we look here. Here's blew up on this, and then he basically shows Barr meeting Huber OIG. OIG report. So the first check mark was Barr meeting Huber and the OIG. And the next thing is going to be the OIG report. So the classification and the OIG report together brings down the house, right? Exciting stuff. That is 3,000. And the summary of that is countdown calendar update. Barr meeting with Huber and OIG complete. Check mark. 3001. Here we go. And he's looking back on a November 7th drop, and he's going to amplify on it a little bit. And he's going to talk about moving from the House to the Senate when it comes to these investigations. And this is intriguing. So this November 7th talked to us about We got what we needed. Thank you, Patriots. Senate means everything. Think judges, Supreme Court, and cabinet. D-class overrides all potential House blockades. POTUS has ultimate authority. Shift to Senate judiciary oversight from House to now occur. Stronger position and held in reserve for this scenario. Lower chamber, House, used a 2-year starter. Upper chamber, Senate, will be used next to closer. And then it says militarily planned, no impact regarding ongoing investigations. Team is stronger, they're more pro-Trump. Q. So that was what he said. And he amplifies it by saying, look at this document, House to Senate. Because what's going on with the House to Senate? Well, you've got the Honorable William Barr being written a letter from who? From Lindsey Graham, the new Terminator unleashed. And he's asking for 9 things, talking about all the abuses of FISA and the FISC court. And he's basically saying, dudes, I want these 9 things no later than March 21st. What do I want? I want all documents and communications originally shared with a Gang of 8 in May 2018 related to the investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election. Because what we're going to see is that's where all the leaking started. The Woods file. What's so interesting about the Woods file, this is the procedure that Mueller put in place after 9/11, and people were saying you're out of control with all these FISAs. So Mueller actually put together this Woods file that made sure that you did very documented verification of the evidence going into the FISA. Obviously, that didn't happen with this at all, right? Thank you, Tom Lee. May God bless all of us, the Americans. I hear you, Tom Lee. But the Woods file is really intriguing. Dan Bongino does a lot of details on this as well. But it is required to have massive detail and confirmation before you get a FISA. And it's very well documented with a paper trail now. So he's asking for the Woods file related to the application for and subsequent renewals of a FISA order authorization to surveillance on Carter Page. That's the one with 2 hops. They were basically surveilling and spying on illegally another campaign. The term Woods file includes but is not limited to any documents concerning or relating to any attempt to verify the accuracy of any alleged facts stated in the FISA applications for Mr. Page. Very comprehensive there, asking for all the documentation of what happened there. So Lindsey Graham is zeroing in on this FISA abuse. Number 3, he's asking for all documents and communication referring or relating to efforts to verify the contents of the Steele dossier. The term Steele dossier includes, but is not limited to, a series of intelligence reports prepared by Christopher Steele that were transmitted to, among others, the department. So there we go. The whole thing about that is to include everything to verify that, and they're not going to have hardly anything where they really verified it, right? Number 4, he's asking for all documents and communications referring to or relating to the role or extent to which the Steele dossier factored into the Carter Page FISA applications. All documents and communication referring to or relating to Christopher Steele's contacts with members of the media. Media! And the reliability of the information provided directly or indirectly by Christopher Steele. This is Lindsey Graham holding the deep state accountable for the massive FISA-gate or Spygate, right? Number 6, all documents and communication that govern the procedures, standards, rules, regulations, or policies that the department, including the Federal Bureau of Investigation, must follow in seeking the FISA warrant from FISC. Very comprehensive again there. Number 7, all documents and communication with the FISC referring to or relating to any FISA applications associated with Carter Page or other individuals on or associated with Donald Trump's 2016 presidential campaigns. So now, if they were doing anything else around the campaign, they're going that. Then they're like asking for all FD 302s, which are the documents of the interview notes, right? For Bruce Orr or any other individual at the department, the FBI, or elsewhere in the federal government who received information from individuals outside the department or the FBI that was used in the Carter Page FISA application. So that's very comprehensive. So people who weren't supposed to be doing Bruce Orr's job in the Justice Department is not funneling information from a spy into the State Department, obviously, and into the FBI. And so this is comprehensive, saying what else was going on. Number 9, all documents and communications referring to or relating to defensive briefings provided or that were under consideration to be provided to the presidential campaign of Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, or any other 2016 presidential candidate. So that's going to cover Cruz and anybody else they were spying on. So this is basically using the Senate judiciary is going to make all this happen. So this is obviously coming from Lindsey Graham. So he is unleashed now, and it's all over, and going to hold accountable to those that abused the FISA warrant all around and spied on Trump. Spygate is blowing open as that comes out. House to Senate. That's what they told us was going to happen all the way back right after the election. They told us that was going to happen, and so the House means. The Senate means everything. Now, let's go to 3002. QAnon, and you look at this. This is a guy holding up MIGA, and then also QAnon. So look, this is Make Iran Great Again, plus MAGA. So Make Iran Great Again, plus Make America Great Again. So there's a true QAnon guy from Iran. We stand together in this fight. Where we go one, we go all. Q. And the summary of that is QAnon movement is worldwide. Make Iran great again. Exciting stuff, guys. This movement is catching on. 3003 gets into a Bing search thing. It says parts 3 of 9 coming soon. Because they're talking about part 1 and part 2 of Spygate blowing open all the way. And here is the Bing search was just on Facebook. This was different, obviously, a day and a half ago when this came out, but it just shows this whole privacy push that they're trying to do, and you got these slime balls like New York Times and stuff, but basically saying, oh, it's a good thing, right? But there's also just shows their privacy problems are really killing them. And so as you move down here if you saw it back, it says, why I quit Facebook and what I learned. Even Elizabeth Warren's trying to break him up. So who knows what's going to be happening here with Facebook and others that are basically lifelong DARPA in disguise, right? And that is 3003. More drops on Facebook incoming. Here is 3004, and it gets into a couple, three or four actual links, and it's talking about one in brackets. Sessions Senate vote, and it's talking here on Twitter where it says breaking. Paul Sawyer says McCabe investigation, not just Trump but Sessions too. So McCabe, the FBI was not only investigating Trump and trying to find dirt on him, and this is outside of all the other stuff going on, but Sessions too. They were investigating the AG. Ordering the Sessions probe was another unprecedented partisan action that has been forgotten, said former federal prosecutor Solomon L. Weinsberg, partner at Nelson Mullins in Washington. There's a whole article here you can go dig into, but the bottom line is that we now know that McCabe was not only spying on Trump, he was spying and investigating Sessions too. So dirty, they are going to be, those guys are in big trouble. All the people that got fired from the FBI, that's the least of their problems, getting fired. Sessions Senate vote was 52-47, barely made it through. Rod Rosenstein's Senate vote was 94-6 because the swamp creatures wanted him. Do you target your enemies or your allies? Why was Sessions targeted? So right now we know that they were targeting the enemies of the deep state. That's why they were targeting Sessions. Who appointed Huber? Who had direct oversight over Huber? That was Sessions. DAG also listed 4 optics, and I think that I think that's all right because he, obviously the AG is the head of all law enforcement, including the Justice Department, and the FBI reports up through some of this Justice Department, right? Who had direct the Attorney General also listed for optics, who really had direct oversight over Huber. And I think that is probably going to be this whole takedown operation of QAnon, I believe. All right. No leaks. None. So that's one great thing that Sessions did while the movie was being played. He was doing massive investigations on all those massive sealed indictments, and there was no leaks, none. Who removed the traitors within the FBI and DOJ? That was Sessions. Do you believe the timing is a coincidence? So that was all number 1, right? Now it's going to number 2. It has another article here. Clear vision for the DOJ. U.S. Attorney Huber saying U.S. attorneys thoroughly enjoyed our time with AG Barr this week. This is one of the big check marks, right? Obama appointed Huber first. Yes, he did. Yes, he did, Lou. And then and that's part of the optics here, right? And then he was reappointed by Trump, but he's been oversight was from Sessions. So U.S. Attorney Huber, U.S. attorneys thoroughly enjoyed our time with AG Barr this week. He is a solid, proven leader with a clear vision for the DOJ. We will move forward with his priorities, hold offenders accountable, and advance the rule of law. And this is beautiful because now you have, obviously Huber was originally appointed by Obama, and so was Horowitz, right? So you have the IG report coming out, and Huber, the attorney, really doing the whole the actually getting the referrals and actually going to grand juries and creating actual sealed indictments, right? Working together. Then and how could they claim it was partisan when they were both appointed by Obama? And they're going to take down the whole deep state and Obama with them. So, but this is beautiful. You can see now Barr is going to work with these attorneys that have been working the last 2 years with all these sealed indictments to hold people accountable. Justice. Clear vision for the DOJ. Hold offenders accountable. Advance the rule of law. Do you believe in timing is a coincidence? Do you believe the timing is a coincidence? No, this is all planned out beautifully. Step number 3. Here is a tweet that says, do you believe the timing is coincidence? Sean Hannity, people will be held accountable as new evidence surfaces on multiple fronts. This is an account called Trump 2020 Republicans tweeting that. It says hashtag QAnon. And you have the whole video, for 15-minute video, where Hannity saying, we now have damning evidence on the deep state. House Republicans released interview with Justice Department officials. So this is quite exciting. And so Q's basically saying that. Sean Hannity saying that people are going to be held accountable. Do you believe that the timing is a coincidence? Nope, it's all happening. So 21-day countdown. Number 4. This says, do you believe in the timing is a coincidence? Here's another one, right? And you got Whitaker, Matthew Whitaker. And this was, see if this gives us a date or anything. I was trying to find that earlier on my small screen. November 22nd, 2017. Email from Whitaker to Huber. So back in November. What happened? It said, from Whitaker. Matthew Whitaker, who became the acting AG, waiting for Barr. It says, sent Wednesday, November 22nd. Oh, there it is right there. John Huber. To John Huber. And it says, letter from Attorney General. Now, we don't get to see the details of this, but it says, 11/22 letter to Huber.pdf. And it's got 11/13/2017 special counsel Goodlatte. And so there's something coming out about all what Huber's been doing working with Whitaker. And do you believe the timing is a coincidence? -21Q. So I think this is the 19th of March, if I remember right, when that first came out. And if you count down, it says time to advocate the rule of law and hold offenders accountable. That's a summary of 3004. 3005 gets into the President of the United States told you who authorized the targeting way back in March of 2017. What did Trump say? Terrible. Just found out that Obama had my wires tapped in Trump Tower just before the victory. Nothing found. This is McCarthyism. And everybody just pounced on Trump, the whole fake news media, when he was exactly right. He told us almost 2 years ago. Almost 2 years ago he told us about this. So they put out a trap to surveil and nail them all on the insurance policy, right? Obama authorized the targeting. 3005. Obviously, and we find out there's going to be a paper trail. Not only did he authorize it domestically, he also did it internationally with the Five Eyes. So there's going to be two things, as well as presidential briefings coming out. Obama is toast. 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 Thanks, Jeff Stewart. Moab incoming. Yes. What a exciting time to be alive to watch this happen. Here's a very long post, 3006. Nellie Orr is CIA. Remember, she speaks Russian fluently, and she's working with Christopher Steele on the Russian dossier, right? So she was Langley. She's a clown. Nellie Orr is a clown. There are others within the FBI, DOJ linked to the CIA. And so many others that are coming from the CIA and going to all these other areas. And Washington Post saying, oh, this is great. Ex-spies go rogue by becoming lawmakers. And he's going to ask us what party it is. Well, Democrats. So Spielberg, a Democrat from Virginia. She ran for the House of Representatives and won, upsetting a Republican. And leaving the CIA was the biggest loss of my life. I mourned the agency. So here's a clown coming into the law offices, and as Democrats trying to take Trump down and trying to, spy on everybody. And we're going to learn that they're spying on Congress. I mean, that the House and the Senate, both parts of Congress. It's crazy when you look at it. Both chambers of Congress. Let's look at this here. It says, what does access to House members have? What access does House committee members have? So the access that they have gives them more information to hand right over to the CIA. Things they're not supposed to have. Remember, the CIA is supposed to be foreign surveillance, but they're all about surveilling us here in the United States illegally. So they can't use true government organizations, but heck, they can use spies within the House. Think Brennan spy campaign on the U.S. Senate. Yeah, that's called the Hammer. They were spying on also the Supreme Court. What happens when the CIA targets spy insertion? The executive, House, Senate, DOJ, FBI, state, etc. branches of the United States government. Well, the CIA is out of control, completely out of control, spying on everyone and then using that information to control and bribe them. How many so-called former CIA agents ran for House elections in 2018? I'm not sure the number of that, but let me know. It was obviously numerous. And what party? Democrats, right? Because that's where the corruption is now. Trump cleaned, obviously this was not a right or left issue like I started all the time, but now that Trump's cleaning out a lot of the Republican House and Senate and governorships and making and getting rid of all these business people, right? So a lot of the Republican-oriented people are getting cleaned up pretty darn quick as he drains the swamp. But the Democrats haven't drained anything, right? So most of the swamp creatures are right there, including new CIA agents coming in November, or coming in January, right after they won the November House of Representatives in the 2018 elections. What happens when the CIA targets spy tech insertion of Google, Facebook, which is LifeLog DARPA, Twitter, etc., etc.? Fox News has an article talking about just that. It says Mark Zuckerberg's conference room has a secret panic shoot report says. So he is massively paranoid, man. He's got all these escape routes, and he's kind of almost protected, almost like the president in many ways, where they sweep before he goes anywhere. They interview doctors before he goes anywhere. He's got bulletproof glass and an ability to literally, I guess, parachute out of the secret passages outside his conference rooms and stuff that he works in. So what happens when people wake up to the fact that the Facebook is a cover for LifeLog DARPA? One thing I forgot to mention in here, I think he has over $100 million of paid salary for his security. So he is obviously that's CIA, guys. He's a CIA operative. Here is what happens when people discover all real-time data inputs plus listening, camera, GPS, meta is being harvested and made accessible to Langley. Obviously, Langley is where the CIA headquarters is headquartered. Charter of the NSA, supposed to be domestic plus foreign. charter of the CIA, they're supposed to be foreign, not domestic. It's forbidden by law for them to do domestic spying, domestic surveillance. But what do you know? They've broken every rule possible as if we become a police state, ruled by the deep state. Why is the CIA conducting an active umbrella collection campaign? Stinger tangents to 9? Agents, all U.S. citizens through lifelong Facebook absorb TAN targeting? Of course, that's what's happening. This tangential anything. Basically, everybody that gets on Facebook, everybody that gets on Twitter, everybody that gets on Google, everybody that's on Amazon, all that information is going right to the CIA to analyze. Bypass data encryption on phone, tablet, etc. Exactly, they can do it. That's primary focus on elected officials. Yep, so they could bribe them and control them. That's how they got Obamacare to hold up through the Supreme Court. And we had people like Roberts that's totally compromised now, voting with Obama. Primary focuses on elected officials and key subcommittees. Yep, they need to try to get control over everybody. I believe that Lindsey Graham was controlled until McCain went out. Can activation occur of recording local on-device pre-SCIF entry? So basically, that must be a yes. So they can actually before they go into these SCIFs, which are these, nothing can be recorded. You can't take your phones in there and everything. But can activation occur of recording the local on-device pre-SCIF entry? No logs, no keys, ghost in, ghost out. So basically, ghost into the SCIFs and ghost out of the SCIFs. People only engage security plus escape vehicles when they have something very serious to fear. What is that fear for Mark Zuckerberg? Q. So all that private stuff and escape routes of Mark Zuckerberg, they are fearful and have this ghost in and ghost out. He's talking in SCIFs because he's CIA. He's got a secret that he doesn't want anybody to know, that he is the surveillance state in action. Facebook, LifeLog DARPA equals LifeLog DARPA, right? Here we are we're looking here at another tweet from Sarah Carter, and it says define projection. And it's funny because if you go all the way back to December of 6th of 2017, so over a year ago, right? Year and 3 months ago or so. Why are Sarah and John getting all the real scoops? Expand your thinking. Why are they now under protection? Q. And this is so interesting. So I started watching every Hannity I could, and I always go to this area where they're talking to either Sarah Carter and or John Solomon, and they're releasing bombshells. They're part of the Great Awakening. They're working with QAnon, obviously. And we all know that because we've been following them for this long. And it's Sarah A. Carter, Q, doesn't say it, and then John Solomon is from the Hill. And so SarahACarter.com is where you can find her articles. Now here's a tweet by Sarah Carter. What does she say? She says, well, I heard rumors. What were the rumors about? McCabe, who under grand jury investigation for lying about leaking, in early 2017 ordered FBI's inspection division to open internal probe into who leaked to Sarah Carter and John Solomon at Circa News. McCabe had made disparaging remarks about General Flynn in staff meetings. So not only was McCabe doing investigations on Trump, not only was doing investigations on Sessions, the AG, right, the Attorney General, he was also doing investigations into reporters. Right? So the surveillance state was completely in action, and that's why it's totally justifiable for us to do the same, as we have criminals in the media trying to take the country down, conspiring with the deep state and the Democrats, the Democratic leaders now. So this is a defined protection. This is defined protection. So they're under protection. I mean, imagine that means that that is going to include not only their physical protection, but also protection against these type of investigations, right? That's 3007. because it's the military intelligence, I believe, is working with John Solomon and Sarah Carter, which is the QAnon movement, right? And the whole, so there's a plan to wake up people that's been executed ever since Q started posting on the 28th of October 2017, right? Now, there's a couple of pictures from Anons that are just awesome, showing the Zero Delta that happened tonight, and it was so cool. I was on my phone, and I get a little notification that sounds like a drop, bop, right? That comes on my phone and shows Q just posted. And I was going, oh, cool. And then all of a sudden, I get another notification on my phone. Trump just tweeted, and it was this. It was this right here. He did this jobs at the exact same time that Q posted this tweet we just saw, right? This drop that talked about Sessions' Senate vote was 52-47. Rod Rosenstein's vote was 467. Do you target your enemies or your allies? So that whole drop tonight happened at 1750, and he even gives a 16 here, and then right after that, within the Zero Delta, a few seconds later, you have Trump tweeting. Another Zero Delta. Here's another graphic of it that they give us here in 3009. Just the exact same graphic. It's just the beginning. Jobs. Talking about the great jobs report that came out that he tweeted. But the Zero Delta between the whole drop he did at the exact same time at 5:50 p.m. Eastern Time. Zero Delta. Another proof. Anybody who thinks that Trump is not working with Q does not know what he's talking about. That's why Q said statistically impossible. Q. Of course, it's statistically impossible. Q is working side by side, this Q team, with Trump in this communication to us. This is the biggest intelligence dump in history. What a time to be alive. Anybody who jumped off the Q train has not looked at the facts. It's undeniable statistically. All the Zero Deltas, all the 17-minute deltas, all the proofs. Go to qproofs.com. You'll see hundreds of proofs that anybody who wants to have a reasonable view of things will have so much evidence. It's impossible, statistically impossible, to not understand that Q is working directly with Trump to take down these criminals. That's 3008. 3010, when we just did 3009 as well, which was the two, so 8 and 9 were the two proofs. And 3010, Trump just says treason. All capital letters. Question mark. Treason. And Q says it's about to happen. Be vigilant. Q. Wow. That is quite freaking exciting. If you just look at that, it's like, whoa. It's like so cool. Wow, I forgot to do my pre-roll. So I'll have to do that. I'm so far behind on my sponsors here, because I have some, you guys can tell I just love this and have so much fun doing this, right? So I want to do my mid-roll though, which was this one of the most awesome pieces of equipment I've ever owned, guys. This really is. A solar-powered flashlight that can charge your cell phone, that can charge anything with a USB. And this is an awesome piece of equipment. It's very well made. Has a glass breaker, a belt cutter, or rope cutter. It's got this huge illumination of light, and then has if you circle around here and open this up, you have a compass right here that you can see. If you open that up, there's a siren there. Of course, it plays. It's louder with the cap off, and then this is also a strobe light and can be seen and do SOS signals and all kinds of things of different colors, either red or blue, depending on the modes. You can flip all these modes on. But an incredible piece of equipment. And again, with all the caravans and everything that's going on, it's just a time to make sure you have protection of yourself. And if electricity does go out, to be able to this will charge up not in direct sunlight. Does a beautiful job of. I've never run out of batteries on it. And I would show you the device right now, but our kitchen's being redone in some box. I got to go find it. But it really literally kept up. It was just awesome. So, and if you look at this, again, this has got a lumen flashlight that can be seen miles away, life-saving energy strobe light setting, along with 4 more unique lighting modes. Charge your phone anywhere. So if you look at this right here, if I take this and come over here, look at right to the side. They moved it to the side to add the siren. So not only you have the ability to charge your phone, the ability to solar power this puppy up, but have the compass and the siren now, as well as the belt cutter and the glass breaker and this magnet here. I didn't even miss that. Just like, this thing's incredible. So get yourself several of these. Great gifts as well. Exol devices. So these are expensive devices, but if you buy multiple of them and use my discount code, it becomes incredibly good deal. I mean, you can get these if you buy multiple of them. This is a $130, $140 flashlight that you can get if you buy 3 of them, down all the way to $49, and then an additional 20% off if you go to the very top of the order form. Once you go to this, go to the top and put right here, click on this, and you'll see the coupon, and then do bless 20 and get another 20% off. Again, bless 20% off. Here you can see all the way down to $119 for 3 flashlights. That's 3 for the price of less than the price of 1. So great, get yourself these again at patriotflashlight.com. patriotflashlight.com. You'll see the link right below this video. Grab yourself 3 of these, and one maybe for each of your phones, some gifts, an incredible thing at patriotflashlight.com. All right, let's finish up here. That was 310 where he says, treason, it's about to happen. All in capitals, be vigilant. All in capitals, Q. And then 3011, he says, sealed to unsealed, indictments coming, Q. So that is some exciting news. I'm sure it's freaking out the deep state. It'll be real interesting to see how, oh my goodness, he's been busy since we've been posting, since we've been talking. This is going to be a long video, it looks like. This is 3009. We went over 3011. Now let's go to these new. This is brand new posts that I have not read yet. So let me take a drink of water and let's dig into these. Okay, we've got 2042. He's bringing us back to August of 2018, well, about 6 months ago or so. And he's got special approval with a big number here. Set up expansion. It's got a link to Homeland Security confirms special entry for Russian lawyer. Right? They were bringing him in to try to set up Trump. Loretta Lynch, paper trail, special entry. And this is this Natalie Veslintiskaya. This is that gal that brought in. She's linked to the Clinton Foundation. She was the one trying to meet with Donald Trump Jr. And it says she was linked to Manafort. FISA warrant issued, approved, Manafort. Mueller to Manafort. FISA warrant issued, approved, Papadopoulos. So this is he was on the Trump campaign. So Manafort and Papadopoulos and Page and Flynn are all the people they're trying to set up. Mueller to Papadopoulos. FISA warrant issued, approved to Page. Mueller to Page. FISA warrant issued, approved to Flynn. Mueller to Flynn. You must target, remove, and silence all those illegally targeted for FISA surveillance plus UK assistant plus FISA surveillance included all upstream collection plus tangent contacts, umbrella surveillance, foreign target designators, create leapfrog hops to isolate real targets, non-FCOM. So that's basically Mueller's job, trying to do everything to just protect the deep state. But I think he is also working behind the scenes to save his own behind, right? Section 702, there's another tweet that we can't link to now. We have to go back to 2042 to go do that. Don't think we need to do that now. It says, example, P talks to X, X talks to Y, Y talks to Z. P, X, Y, Z equals bulk data collection. This is why they take the 2 hops from P to Z, and you got all of Trump campaign. UK, so all the emails, all the text, complete surveillance of the Trump campaign during the election. This is Hillary Clinton op research being used to spy on the competitive campaign. This is illegal police state activities. Freedom of Truth, thank you so much. It's about to happen. Be vigilant. Patriots stand at the ready and prepared for what's about to come. Woo! That's exactly right. But this umbrella surveillance with 2 hops allowed them to get all of it. UK assistant allows for normal FISA law deconstruct. Deconstruct includes D2 spy insert, literal spies we're known to, like Halper and all these other people. Deconstruct includes non-FISA warrants, special ops classified public. This literally was as simple as it can get. Obama authorizing and the spying on the Trump campaign to try to influence the 26 election. That's what happened here. And they came up with the Russia thing to project onto Trump to try to hide it all. Q basically amplifies on this with another tweet from Papadopoulos. Patriots stand at the ready. And Papadopoulos says, people do understand that the guys the book was thrown at, me, Manafort, Flynn, had FISAs on them. All right, so George Papadopoulos was this poor guy. He just tries to help Trump out, and he got set up multiple times from this misfit and all these guys from these Russian Western assets. They weren't even really Russian. They were Western assets by either England, Australia, the Five Eyes people, or the U.S. Right? Western assets were had all these FISAs. If those FISAs just weren't on Page, they had FISAs on everybody. Right? Patriots stand at the ready and prepared for what is about to come. The Great Awakening. Q. The Great Awakening, all in capitals. The Great Awakening, exclamation point. Q. Woo! It's getting fun here. That's 3012. If you go to 3013, you see another tweet. Exclusive, 1.5 years behind Anons. Q. What's this tweet from the Daily Beast? It says, exclusive, the DOJ just unearthed a letter Matt Whitaker delivered to the Utah U.S. Attorney, that's Huber, directing a review of how the department handled the Clinton Foundation and the Uranium One issues. We knew this, didn't we? But now it's coming out in the rags in the mainstream media is having to report the truth. It's like, it reminds me of Kim Clement saying, I'm gonna eventually say that Time Magazine is going to have to say what I want them to say. The God talking about Time Magazine. God talking about The View. The View's going to have to tell them what I want them to say. Is that Trump won the election, and pretty soon they're going to be overwhelmed with all this stuff, and they're going to have to start reporting some of this truth just to survive as an organization. And here's the Daily Beast. It exists. DOJ finds letter ordering scrutiny of Uranium One, Hillary Clinton. The Attorney General Jeff Sessions wrote the letter on November 22nd, 2017 for Utah U.S. Attorney John Huber. Read it here. Woo! Woo! See if it actually has it. Looks like a pretty long article. Here's the actual article. It was pretty short. Let's look at this. Jeff Sessions wrote this to Huber on, they gave us the date, but I don't see it here. There it is, November 22nd, 2017. So this was just after Q started posting, right? A month after Q started posting, about 3.5 weeks. So what does Huber say? This tells you how much work they've been doing, guys. This is over 2 years ago, right? No, let me think that. November 2017, year and 6 months ago, or 4 months ago, right? Year and 4 months ago or so. It says, John Huber, United States Attorney for the District of Utah. We know he's working with the IG Horowitz on all the sealed indictments. Dear Mr. Huber, in consultation with the Department Attorney General, I have requested that you review the matters referred in the enclosed November 13th, 2017 letter from the Assistant Attorney General Stephen Boyd and House Judiciary Committee Chairman Robert Goodlatte, and make recommendations to me or the Deputy Attorney General as appropriate. Your review need not include matters that you determine are within the scope of the investigation being conducted by the Special Counsel Robert Mueller. Your recommendation should include whether any matters not currently under investigation warrants the opening of an investigation, whether any matters currently under investigation require further resources or further investigation, or whether any matters would merit the appropriate appointment of a special counsel. Interesting. I don't see anything there about the Clinton Foundation, so I'm not sure if that's a separate letter or there's an attachment or something, but that was what they're talking about. This clearly says ordering scrutiny of Uranium One and Hillary Clinton. So it must be, see, after it claimed no such document existed, the Justice Department just unearthed a letter Matt Whitaker delivered. This is Matt Whitaker delivered to the Utah attorney. So this is talking about a different letter. We just read the Jeff Sessions. This is a Matt Whitaker, the interim AG, before Barr came in, delivered to U.S. attorney directing the review of how the department handled the Clinton Foundation and Uranium One issues. So unfortunately, that's just this is November of 2018. The then Attorney General Sessions wrote a letter on November 27th. We just read that one, right? He also sent Huber a copy of the letter to the Justice Department Congressional Affairs Chief set to the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee on November 13th of that year. So basically, Sessions said, investigate everything, not just what Mueller's doing. It's not just Russia, Russia, Russia. Look at the other side. That's what he's been doing. We knew that. And now Whitaker was very specific about the Clinton Foundation and Uranium One. The existence of the letter documenting Sessions' directive at the DOJ revisit probes of Trump top political foe is a surprise because department lawyers said in court last year that senior officials insisted that it didn't exist. So now they're just going to focus on, oh, you're not supposed to have this, versus the fact that it's just happening. So this is going to be obviously the mainstream media talking about, well, people lied and said there wasn't there. And so, but it's all coming out, guys. The same day, Whitaker emailed Sessions' letter to Huber. The request for the document of the direction Sessions gave Huber about the review of Clinton investigations after DOJ failed to produce any written directions. American Oversight sued. So somebody's suing to try to find these documents, and I think this is beautiful timing for all this stuff landing on the plate of even the mainstream media having to report, oh my goodness, they are actually investigating the Clinton Foundation. It's like, yep. Exclusive, 1.5 years behind Anon's. Q. We knew this for 1.5 years, right? And they're saying, exclusive, the Daily Beast has this information. Look at us. If you were reading QAnon, you would have known this a year and a half ago. That is exactly another Q proof right there. That's what that is. Here we have an Anon dropping on 3014. A Moab, that's Pepe the Frog in the front of it. And Q says, Anons understand now why we've been targeted daily by the fake news media and shills. Today, they are learning the truth. You have been prepared for what is about to take place. Dark to light. Enjoy the show. Where we go one, we go all. Q. Woo! We are talking massive drops tonight. Here is 3015. So that was 3014. It looks like this might be the last one, but we'll refresh when we get this done. So this is a MSM article, MSN, and it says it exists. DOJ finds letter ordering scrutiny of Uranium One Hillary Clinton. So this is a similar information. It exists. DOJ finds letter ordering scrutiny of Uranium One and Hillary Clinton. So instead of the Daily Beast, this is MSN. And more for you. Interesting. I'm not sure why it's not giving me any details about this. This is just 5 years ago. Betsy Woods of the Huffington Beast. So it's just coming back to that same article. But just, oh, here it is. Read more. Duh. There it is. After it claimed no such document existed. So, of course, the mainstream media is focused on the fact that it was claimed that it wasn't existing because we were hiding that information from people for a while. Just unearthed a letter Matt Whitaker delivered to the Utah U.S. Attorney directing a review of how the department handled the Clinton Foundation and the Uranium One issues. Attorney General Jeff Sessions wrote the letter on November. We saw that letter. The existence of the letter documented Sessions' directive. We read that already. It was pretty wide, and obviously that's what Huber was doing. That's why there's 5,000 new sealed court documents coming in every month, right? Many of those are probably part of this deep state operation. Not all of them. Some of them could be sealed, for instance, a search warrant, right? Or they could be some part of something else. But the fact is the number is so much larger than our best yearly data of 2006. Even on the most liberal of sides, there was like 2,000 a month, right? So to go to 5,000 plus a month is obviously Huber and his 300 attorneys are doing a lot of things. So a lot of work getting those sealed indictments going. DOJ hasn't brought any charges related to the foundation or the transaction. Some Hill Republicans and conservative media commentators have long argued this because the department hasn't sufficiently investigated it. They have called for the appointment of a special counsel to scrutinize the transaction. Session didn't bite. Instead, he directed Huber to review what the department had done regarding the matter. And we knew this way back a year and a half ago. Huber's work has drawn significant interest, but unlike special counsel Robert Mueller's probe into Russia influencing during the 26th election, there is scant public information about it, what fruit, if any, it has borne. That's right, because the big takedown's about ready to happen. Some Republicans say that Huber's work is too little, too late. Democrats, meanwhile, argue it's evidence of the Trump administration weaponizing law enforcement to target its political rivals. There you go. Exactly what they did. They weaponized all entities. They weaponized the IRS against the Tea Party. They weaponized even the EPA against Christian businesses. They weaponized everything. The DOJ, the FBI, the CIA, obviously, and all against anybody that was anti-deep state. The deep state coup was there, and now Trump's taking it out, and they're going to say, oh, you're weaponizing the law enforcement to actually hold people accountable that actually did crimes. Versus they weaponized it to go try to find crimes. Huge difference. That's police state tactics versus law and order. And that's what Trump's doing, is law and order. Let's refresh and see if there's anything after 3:15. Looks like we got it through 3:15. Woo! Right at an hour it took us to get all that done. I did want to just let you guys know to go to my website, blessedtoteach.com, which is with a 2, and you will find all my show notes. So everything I just showed you, you will be able to see on my show notes. And again, they render really nicely. A lot of them you don't even have to click on. They'll have, you can just read them right there in one place. The easiest way is to come down and get on the email list and subscribe here, and that way you'll get the links, the link to the actual show notes for every show. So get on that email list. Much easier way for me to be able to get those to you and communicate with you if they take me off the air, which is a probably high likelihood. I also, in a lower bandwidth way, can be listened to the audio only on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and iHeartRadio. At the bottom, you'll see recommended books, as well as my sponsor connections, all my social media, mine and Facebook and Twitter. Links are all at the bottom here. YouTube, obviously, I've got 3 accounts, including Blessed to Teach 2 and Blessed to Teach 3. And I'm also on BitChute, all backup channels that you can find me on as well. All right, guys, let's go to a quick prophecy. This is Mark Taylor. Wow, this is a long one. I think, guys, I think I'm going to skip this again. You had got plenty of Mark Taylor last night, and we're already over an hour. So I'm just going to go to some scripture here. I already saw 1 Peter 3:15, so let me go to last one here. Let's talk about 1 John 1. John 1:1. This is one of my favorite verses in the Bible well, I say that about all 67 of my verses, right? But this is John 1:1. It's the biggest testament to the triune God, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, right? Because it basically talks about Jesus being God. And because he was God's son, but he was also, he's Father, he's part of the Trinity. So he is God. And that's why the Jews were going to stone him for saying that he could forgive sins. Only God can forgive sins, and Jesus was forgiving sins, right? So he's basically, Jesus was telling people he was God. As he accepted worship, he forgave sins. Nobody can accept worship, right? That's not God, but he was God. He's fully God and fully man. That's who Jesus was. The miracle body, that virgin birth, right? It's another example of that. So John 1:1 says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." Amazing to just think about that. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So when you go look at the Word, you'll see the Word was made flesh. So it's talking about Jesus. So in the beginning was Jesus, who is the Word, right? And the Word, which is Jesus, was with God, and the Word, Jesus, was God. So again, clearest example. Some false religions actually take this verse because it's a problem for them when they teach they're separate gods versus just one God, or that Jesus is not divine, Jesus is not God, and they change this verse. Of course they have to change this verse because they teach the false God. Again, guys, I want to preach the truth about the true God, the true Jesus, and the true gospel. But I don't want to argue all the little points because we have to come in unity around those three big rocks. But when there's a church that teaches the wrong God, the wrong Jesus, I have to call it out. And the one that changes this is Jehovah's Witnesses. They completely teach a wrong God, the wrong Jesus, and the wrong gospel. Completely wrong. Guys, that's why it's classified as a Christian cult, along with many others I've talked about. But Jehovah's Witnesses do not have the truth. They completely are led by Satan and lead you astray. They want you to believe in a different God. Jehovah has a God, and they want to call Jesus something different. The triune God is the truth. The Bible clearly teaches it. It teaches the whole personhood. The Holy Spirit is a person. The Holy Spirit actually grieves just like Jesus did, just like the Father does. And there are three personhoods in one God. There's only one God that's ever existed and will always exist. Nobody will ever be like him. Just read Isaiah 41 or all through Isaiah 40 and 41. It's beautiful verses. The Bible's very consistent about this. We have a triune God, but there's only one God. One God, three persons. Okay? It's just the truth. And one of the beautiful verses here is if you go to 1 John 1, you say, in the beginning was the Word, Jesus. And the Word, Jesus, was with God, and the Word, Jesus, was God. And the Word became flesh in verse 11, I think it is in 14. And he gave us the right, I think it's John 1:8, to become children of God. It's a beautiful truth. Let me pray there. Heavenly Father, just thank you so much for the truth of your gospel, clearly shown from Genesis to Revelation, that you are the awesome God of the Trinity. That Lord, that you sent your Son here to die for us, to substitute, and that God was and that Jesus was a great God man, and that's why he can die as a substitute for us, because he's fully God and fully man. And thank you for this truth about Jesus being there in the beginning with the Holy Spirit, with the Father, as one God. And anybody who complains and thinks this is really confusing is trying to put God in a box. It's just what the Bible teaches. It's pretty clear. There's one God who's always existed. Nobody will ever be like him. He's the Alpha and the Omega. He's the beginning and the last. He's the beginning and the end. He is the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. Thank you, Lord, for this truth. This triune God that loves us. Help us all, Lord, everybody listen to my voice, starts to understand who the real God really is, this triune God, and who the real Jesus is, the God, great God man that came down here to sacrifice himself for our sins, and what the whole gospel's all about. There's 100% Jesus and 0% us. It's the only way we get to heaven. It's a narrow gate. Lord, allow us all to understand that and be able to tell more people about it, Lord. And thank you for the QAnon movement and everything that's about ready to happen here. Lord, I just pray that you will allow all of us to understand it better and be able to explain it better. Give us insight. Give us wisdom. Give us ability to discern between all the false information and what's true. Use us as your truth warriors, Lord. And we say these things in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, guys, thank you so much. It is a wonderful Saturday night here. I'm going to skip the discussion just because it's Saturday night and it's late and I got to get down to my, hoping to get out to a movie or something with my wife. Again, CIA's on ice. They're caught illegally doing domestic spying using LifeLog, DARPA, which is Facebook, using Twitter, using all kinds of things to really make sure they are looking at all domestically doing what they're not supposed to be doing. The CIA's been out of control for many, many years, and they're worse than they ever have been. And I cannot wait till Trump breaks them up into a billion pieces and scatters them into the air, just like JFK had decided to do, and that Trump is going to execute on with military intelligence, the NSA, and the great Q Army. Thank you, guys. This is the Blessed Teach Show on March 9th. This is Rick, your host. God bless you, and we'll talk to you next time.